Starting to see a few breaks in the clouds across central and eastern Kentucky, but I'm tracking the possibility of some severe Saturday storms just ahead.
New at 4, we have just learned the victim found in a burning car in Fayette County is a member of the National Guard.
A semi-truck crashed into a student walkway right in the middle of EKU's campus.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good afternoon to you. Amber Philpott reporting a manhunt is underway right now in eastern Kentucky for an accused killer on the loose. That search is taking place along Kentucky 52 near the Breathitt-Lee County line. We're told William Napier escaped from custody this afternoon. Napier is charged in the July stabbing death of Charles Costello. Police say Napier killed Costello during a fight at the Jackson Inn Motel in Breathitt County. Police say Napier was being taken back to the Three Forks Regional Jail in Lee County after a court hearing when he somehow got out of a transport van. The Lee County Sheriff's Office tells us Napier may be hiding out in the North Fork of the Kentucky River. We will keep you posted on this story. Well, we have some changes blowing into the bluegrass, and that means storms possibly to start our weekend. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey on what we can expect for our weekend. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, some folks getting in on a little rain earlier today, Amber, and this is kind of setting the stage for a strong cold front to arrive on the scene for our Saturday. That may give us a round of some strong or even severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon at roughly this time. It has been a gray day for much of the bluegrass region, but late afternoon, starting to see a few peaks of sunshine showing up in Lexington. 82 degrees, but look at the humidity. Off the charts, 67% right now. Winds are gusting up from the southwest. Defender Radar Network tracking on and off showers and thunderstorms a little earlier from Lexington southwest. We had a nice little soaking for a few areas. Right now, rain lining up from Moorhead through West Liberty, Salyersville, on top of US 23 between Paintsville and Prestonsburg. Central Kentucky. Not a whole lot left in the tank, at least right now. We'll keep a close eye on a little isolated shower thunderstorm trying to pop around Interstate 65, but the majority of the action this evening is likely to be just to our northwest near our cold front that will make its way in here. Don't believe me? Let's talk to the hour-by-hour forecast, show you what it is looking at as we go through the next several hours. So for a lot of those high school football games, we're likely on the dry side. Then notice by midnight, we start to see that action increasing around Evansville, and that could send a little shower thunderstorm into parts of the bluegrass region early tomorrow. But it is the second half of tomorrow that has my attention, even more so today than over the past few days. Amber, that front that is off to our west is going to bring a big blast of some cooler air, but to get from point A to point B, we're likely to be talking about an afternoon of some strong and severe thunderstorms. We'll break down that threat when I come back in about 15 minutes.
All right, we will check in with you then, Chris. Thank you. Maysville police confirmed to us this afternoon federal authorities took a woman into custody for promoting terror attacks. Marie Castelli is facing federal charges. Her arrest record shows authorities at the Boone County Jail released her to U.S. Marshals today. ABC News reports she allegedly advocated for terrorist attacks in the U.S. and promoted ISIS on social media accounts. Maysville police say she is well known in the business district there. She walks her 2 dogs in that area each day. They say the woman, who is Muslim, has no local arrest record. We now know the identity of a man found in a burning car in Fayette County, and we've learned he is a member of the National Guard. Coroner Gary Ginn has identified the man as 24-year-old Joseph Trevor Dilger. A burning car was found in Fayette County Sunday night at the intersection of Red Road and Elkchester Road. When police arrived, they found Dilger's body in the back of the car. The coroner says the manner of death is a homicide, but the cause of death will not be released. Cleanup is underway in Richmond on the Eastern Kentucky University campus after a large truck hit the pedway on Lancaster Avenue. According to EKU, the crash caused structural damage to the pedway. As Sabira Rayford reports, no students were on it at the time. She has more now from campus. It's our top story at 4.
University officials say this pedway is something students use all the time to get to and from class. Luckily, when the crash happened, no students were on it. Right now, architects are inspecting the pedway. In a news conference, EKU's public safety officer says they are trying to figure out a safe way to remove the truck from underneath the pedway. The crash happened earlier this afternoon. Officials say the arm of the truck was raised when it hit the pedway. They tell us another car was nearby when the truck crashed into the walkway. Officials say debris from the collision fell onto that SUV. No one was injured in the crash. At this time, the university is asking people to avoid Lancaster Avenue between the Eastern Bypass and Crab Street.
Plan for transporting students safely across the street from the Lancaster lot and the Grand Campus apartments that we have on campus is to have them utilize the crosswalks that are already in place at both Barnes Mill and Lancaster Avenue, as well as Crab Street and Lancaster Avenue. They are well marked, they are designated crosswalks, and they are safe to use.
Officials say people traveling on campus should expect this portion of Lancaster Avenue to be closed at least all day. In Richmond, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Sabira, thank you. We are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Jennifer Palumbo joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, Amber. The search for answers continues today in the killing of a pregnant woman in Lexington. Mariah Coleman and her baby died Wednesday night. Someone shot and killed Coleman while she was walking her dog on Winburn Drive. Coleman was 8 months pregnant. A makeshift memorial with balloons, signs, and flowers is now at the site of the shooting. Police have few leads and are asking any witnesses to come forward with information. A Laurel County couple faced a judge today accused of killing their infant daughter. Both Gary and Jessica Nicely pleaded not guilty to murder and abuse during their arraignment in Laurel District Court this morning. Their 7-month-old daughter died last week from a head injury. The baby's twin sister was also taken to the hospital with injuries.
Gary loves my kids. He's crazy about my kids. And he's raised 2 other kids. It's not even his. And he's been a good dad. Everybody looks up to Gary in my family. You know, Gary's always the one we go to for comfort or whatever.
Jessica Nicely will be back in court Tuesday for a preliminary hearing. Gary Nicely's case has been waived to a grand jury. The couple's bond is set at $300,000. And that's a look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Jennifer, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. This Sunday will mark 15 years since 9/11, and some of the ceremonies commemorating that day were held today in New York and Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, new polls show Americans are increasingly worried about this weekend's anniversary. Steve Nannis reports.
America. Gathering on the steps of the U.S. Capitol.
We will never forget that terrible day.
At the Pentagon.
It's an anniversary that brings forth a wide range of emotions from many of us.
On the streets of New York. And in New York City's One World Trade Center.
On each 9/11 of each year, we look back and reflect.
Official ceremonies to honor the victims and remember the events of September 11th, 2001.
The passage of time has not dimmed the memory of those that we lost. It has not erased from our minds the many acts of courage that brought light into that dark day.
But a new CNN ORC poll shows that Americans are increasingly worried that this anniversary may be a potential target for acts of terrorism. 50% saying they believe an act of terrorism is at least somewhat likely to happen in the U.S. around this year's anniversary. That's an increase from the 39% who felt that way around the 10th anniversary of the attacks in 2011. Fears that government officials acknowledge are real.
We continue to stand vigilant against all of those who seek to do our nation and its ideals and its people harm.
But they say Americans must try to look beyond those fears.
9/11 does not belong to fear. It belongs to courage. It belongs to compassion.
Terrorism cannot prevail if we refuse to be terrorized.
In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis.
More than 5,000 employees fired from Wells Fargo over alleged shady behavior. The details in WKYT Money Watch. And some Samsung phones will be a no-no on planes. That's also ahead here on WKYT.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Welcome back in. Wells Fargo Bank has agreed to pay $190 million in fines to the government and customers. That begins today's Money Watch. Banking regulators say Wells Fargo employees opened phony accounts without the okay of customers in order to meet sales goals and to receive bonuses. The bank says it's fired 5,300 workers linked to the scam. New problems for the tech giant Samsung over its new flagship phone. The FAA is warning passengers not to use the company's Galaxy Note 7 on planes or put the devices in checked baggage. The statement comes after a global recall was issued for the phone over concern its batteries could burst into flames. Josh Elliott reports.
It was very surprising to me how quick the dash caught on fire.
This is what's left of Nathan Dornicker's Jeep after a Labor Day fire tore through its interior.
That's the last thought in my head, is that a brand new device, something as simple as a phone, is going to burn down my car or my house.
He'd left his Samsung Galaxy Note 7 charging on the center console while briefly going inside his house.
The fire was going up through the dash here.
Local fire authorities and Samsung are still investigating the exact cause of the explosion, but it follows at least 35 similar phone-related fires around the world that Samsung blames on faulty batteries. Last Friday, the company recalled all 2.5 million units it shipped since the phone's launch. The FAA's action does not outright ban the devices from airplanes. Instead, the agency strongly advises passengers not to turn on or charge them.
Samsung will ultimately recover, but I think it's obviously bad press. I think that Samsung's going to take a big hit with this one just because it doesn't look good.
Now, Samsung tells CBS News that it is working with Nathan Dornicker to investigate his case. As for all the other Note 7 owners around the globe, the company is urging them to exchange their devices for new ones. Josh Elliott, CBS News, New York.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum & Bailey presenting Circus Extreme this weekend. We're juggling a whole lot of fun when we return here on WKYT.
Tired from just looking at that. Hey, looking into the weekend forecast, I've got a cold front that may cause some Saturday issues. Tracking the severe weather threat and a blast of fall next.
Your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
A lot more humidity in the air today as expected, leading to some scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially earlier in the day. What we're left with, a very muggy Friday evening into most of central and eastern Kentucky. And we get into tomorrow. Watch out, could be some big time boomers into the afternoon and evening. Most thermometers low in mid 80s right now. We get into southeastern Kentucky. We are a little warmer around the London area on a thermometer that always runs a little toasty, pushing the upper 80s into parts of this area. Here's your Defender Radar Network. Nothing across central Kentucky as of now. Had some of those early day rains. Sometimes that was just leaving a damp ground behind, not really registering in terms of in the rain bucket. We look at eastern Kentucky, still some showers ongoing from Sandy Hook through West Liberty, Salyersville, Lexington Metro, not a whole lot out there. Maybe a sprinkle into Bourbon County and northern Clark County. Should not be a big deal. A lot of those high school football games look to be in pretty good shape this evening, though it is a little on the humid side, obviously. We'll watch western Kentucky. We'll watch 65 and points to the west for the possibility that we crank out another shower or thunderstorm that can move in here this evening. Anything that is out there over the next 5-6 hours, very isolated in nature. Here's what's getting my attention tomorrow. Strong cold front that is off to the west. The air coming in out ahead of this is very juicy. This evening, likely to get severe weather to crank up into parts of Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. That same air mass is then on top of Kentucky as we go into the day tomorrow. So the severe weather threat for Saturday stretches from the Great Lakes right on in to the Bluegrass State. The green being the marginal risk. That's a very low risk in terms of the overall categories, but the slight risk for the areas in yellow, that includes much of central Kentucky into the northern parts of the area. Tomorrow afternoon, early evening, prime time to get some damaging winds from any thunderstorms that will go up. Here's a breakdown of that forecast tomorrow. Still think we can squeeze out a thunderstorm tomorrow morning. A lot of dry times. Tomorrow afternoon, anywhere from 85 to 90. 90 eastern Kentucky, mid-80s central Kentucky, cooler the farther west that we go. And then that front slams in here tomorrow evening, and that could be that band of some strong or severe thunderstorms. This evening through 11 o'clock, most areas remain dry. For the overnight into early tomorrow, Clouds are around. A shower or thunderstorm of isolated fashion is a possibility. And then we should see a little line of thunderstorms coming together as we go from, let's say, 4 to 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Behind that, let's say hello to fall for Sunday. Look at those temperatures in the 50s. How about noontime on Sunday? 70. Blue skies into the afternoon. A little high cloud cover will billow up mid and upper 70s. We fast forward into Sunday night and Monday morning. A few upper 40s. Do indeed try to sneak in to the area. Here's that forecast. We get some nice weather from Sunday into the first half of next week before another little system brings our next threat for a shower or thunderstorm by Wednesday. Let's check on traffic now. Live drive traffic. Here's Officer Don.
Well, no collisions working in the city right now. Just check the inner and outer loops of the circle. We're okay past Tates Creek Road and Versailles Road. And downtown looks good from South Broadway outbound. As far as drive times go, to Nicholasville, 12 minutes. Georgetown, about 16. And Paris, still dealing with 25 minutes via Paris Pike. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. It is time to awaken the spirit of children of all ages and stir the imagination of your family because the circus is in town this weekend. Deanne Stevens is out and about today. She joins us from backstage, the circus compound, with more.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at Rupp Arena where we are preparing for the circus tonight. Love having Vicki and Richard with us, mother-son duo here. What, third generation in the circus?
Yes, correct. Welcome to Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey. We're right here in Lexington, opening night tonight, 7 o'clock. You can come down 1 hour before the show at 6 and see us do all kinds of cool things, juggling, you know. You can see all kinds of other things what don't happen in the show.
Yeah, so what is it like following Mom around in the circus?
It has its ups and downs, you know, a lot of nagging with the practice and everything, you know, it's typical.
Because you guys are jugglers, and you not only juggle being in the show, you juggle a little bit of everything every day, being a part of the circus.
Of course, you know, we travel. Every week it's a new city. I have also ponies, you know, animals, and my kids. It's a huge family. Of course, I need to juggle my husband. It's like craziness.
I feel your pain, honey. I feel your pain. We're going to let you guys get to it right now because this mother-son duo is going to show what they're going to be doing tonight at the circus. Super cool to watch, so much to see with the circus, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. Now, I understand you guys have something a little special where I got to keep my mic down. What is this? What are we doing?
Put your hands down.
Okay.
Mic's right now for now. Look straight, don't move. We're going to pass around you. Here we go.
Okay. I'm nervous. Oh.
2, 3.
Do I have to keep my eyes open? Holy cow! That is unreal. You guys are fantastic. Come see them tonight at the circus. Circus running here at Rupp Arena throughout the entire weekend. Showtime tonight, 7 o'clock. Mini shows tomorrow and Sunday as well. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Can you teach me how to do that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. I may be joining the circus. Back to you guys.
Watch out, circus. Deanne's coming. A new therapy technique could help stroke survivors. That's ahead in Better Living. And a new study aims to have the final word on statins. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $111 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $205 million. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A new medical study is aiming to have the final word on cholesterol-lowering drugs called statins. A comprehensive review of studies about cholesterol-lowering drugs finds the number of people who avoid heart attacks and strokes by taking statins is much larger than the number of patients who have side effects. The Lancet study says the benefits of statin therapy have been underestimated and the negatives exaggerated because previous studies have misinterpreted the data. A new compound may slow the progression of kidney disease in patients with diabetes. Researchers from Madrid say the compound seemed to get rid of the harmful effects of high blood sugar on kidney cells in mice. About 1/3 of diabetes patients develop kidney disease. And a new therapy for stroke survivors seems to improve hand function. In the new technique, patients control electrical stimulation to their weakened hand with a glove worn on their opposite hand. Researchers say patients who receive the new therapy score twice as well on dexterity tests than patients who receive the common treatment. Now let's head over to Chris for another check of our weekend weather. We're going to be dealing with some storms in order to get to some good weather, right?
Yeah, you know what? When you go from where we've been over the past several days to where we should be for this time of year with some 70s coming up, something has to give, and you got to watch tomorrow afternoon. Could be a potent band of some thunderstorms on the move. How about your Friday evening? First and foremost, kicking off the weekend, mix of sun and some clouds. Clouds have been awfully tough for the Frankfort area, Lexington, into Moorhead. That's why it's 81 in Moorhead, Lexington 82, but we are seeing sunshine beginning to break out. We've had more sun in London. Our temperatures are a little toasty. Defender Radar Network tracking isolated stuff out there this evening. Go about your Friday evening plans. I think a lot of us should be in tip-top shape for the next several hours as the rains are beginning to pull on out of town. It is tomorrow afternoon when things could get a little crazy on us as a strong cold front blows into town. I'll show you what that means for the weekend forecast just ahead on WKYT News at 4:30, the Friday edition, and it starts now.